Rosemary Jean Thompson, and welcome to UBC's Next Big Thing. You know, UBC gets in the news a lot, and we wanted to highlight some of, well, the news highlights from this year. So with me, I have Paul Marck. He is the Manager of Media Relations. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me, Rosemary. It's a delight.
Well, and you're always talking about news and the things that are exciting that are going on campus. So I thought it'd be really neat to invite you here and tell us what made the news from UBC this year.
Well, we had a lot of news this year. I think overall we had nearly 1,000 stories out in the media.
Oh, wow.
Both in print, radio, and on TV as well.
Well, Paul, how important is it that we do understand the impact that the university has on our community and beyond?
Oh, I think it's terrifically important because here we are, an institution, a post-secondary institution, and a lot of our people, our top scholars and academics, are working here in classrooms and in labs, and they often don't see the broader impact of the work that they're doing, what it has on the community in the Okanagan Valley and in the larger community across Canada and internationally. Starting at number 10. Justin Trudeau appeared on campus last year. He was speaking to the students, packed house. There were quite a few stories, broadcast, radio, and print stories came from that.
That's number 10?
That's number 10. Number 9 is something of an unfortunate story. It involved a student death that occurred here a couple of years ago. The story gained prominence because there was a class action suit against the drug manufacturer for this. In 8th spot with the Plant Intelligence Project, and this was a multifaceted interdisciplinary project, and here we had a poet talking about her work and mixing it in with some of the scientific work that's done in plant biology. And stories followed in both Maclean's magazine and in the New Yorker magazine.
Wow.
In 7th spot, the Superman story. Christine Schreier is an anthropologist and a linguist, and she wrote the Kryptonian language for Man of Steel. If you see the movie, you can see inscriptions on the spaceships, on the weaponry, all her doing. So she basically created an invented language.
And number 6.
Number 6 was a case of cyberbullying where our sociologist Chris Schneider was talking about Rebecca Marino, who's a star Canadian tennis player who quit the game due to cyberbullying.
Really?
Yes. Chris was talking to a variety of media, both in print and broadcast, about the effects that exposure in social media can have on people.
Number 5.
Number 5. Chris Hadfield came here as a distinguished speaker, part of the Distinguished Speaker Series at UBC, and he held an audience, a sellout audience, at the Kelowna Community Theatre, enthralled for a couple of hours.
It was so popular, we had to end up actually live streaming it to an audience here on campus as well. That's how popular that was.
That's right. Number 4 was the death of TV star Corey Monteith, and there was an outpouring of grief. Chris Schneider, again, talked about how something like this represents a teaching moment for parents with their children, talking about how to respond appropriately online and how they can deal with something like this. If I can go on to the number 3 story, this was the result of findings released by Sanjay Ghosh, who's a scientist in the Irving K. Barber School. He was talking about the benefits of fish oil. He determined that the benefits, the health benefits from this are vastly overrated.
Really?
Yes. And this came as a complete surprise to the larger community, and we had national media responding to this as well as international media. In number 2 spot was our premier campus event of the year, Celebrate Research Week. We had the Behavioral Research Lab at the Faculty of Management drew a lot of interest from media, as well as on-campus and off-campus events of our scholars out there talking about their research. So it was a really, really well-covered event for the media.
And that's an annual event.
Annual event.
Always interesting to find out what's going on in research on campus.
The number 1 story is actually a compilation of stories about transit issues, whether it be about the buses, whether it be about parking, whether it be about bike routes. I think it's evidence that this campus is growing, and the infrastructure supporting it has not grown from the time we were 3,500 students and now we're 8,300 students. Students had a lot to say about this. Faculty members had a lot to say about this as well.
thank you for coming today and filling us in on some of these stories. And I know you'll be sending media releases out left and right. And it's always good to know that UBC can make some good news.
Absolute delight to be here, Rosemary. Thank you.
And that wraps it up for this edition of UBC's Next Big Thing. Until next time, I'm Rosemary Jean Thompson. Have a great day.